So welcome everybody to today's webinar. The topic of the webinar is Red Hat OpenShift on Azure platform. Today's webinar is jointly run by Redington, Consol, Mina, and Red Hat. So hope all of you are keeping safe and taking all precautions in this pandemic. So this pandemic has made all of us realize that we need to change our traditional methods of working, increase the omnipresence, reduce dependency on legacy systems, and modernize our data center and applications. In this effort, Redington, Red Hat, Consol, Mina have taken an initiative to increase the awareness about benefits of OpenShift on Azure platform. Our first speaker of the day is Salim Menik. He is a Senior Business Development Manager at Consol Mina. Consol Mina is a subsidiary office of the group Consol Software GmbH, headquartered in Munich, Germany, and has more than 6 offices worldwide. They have established their regional office in Dubai since 2010 in DIFC, with the main focus to support customers in the MENA region in their digital transformation journey. Consol Group, as a group, is a premier partner of Red Hat, and they have played a significant role in the development of open source frameworks and DevOps practices globally and also in the MENA region. In addition, they are also the one who deployed the largest OpenShift deployment globally, and that was for the BMW Group. We have Salim. He has multiple years of experience with Consol Mina, and he has experience. His past experiences with Microsoft, with Crayon, and he is specialist in cloud technologies and a senior business development manager at Consol. Our second speaker today is Ashish Dikshit. He is a senior specialist of app dev at Red Hat. Ashish has 15 years of experience in leading positions in Middle East at product companies like Red Hat, Oracle, and Software AG. He has extensive experience in being trusted advisor to IT and business leaders in their application modernization, cloud and digital transformation journey. At Red Hat, Ashish is the business development lead for middleware and a highly successful OpenShift container platform specialist enabling DevOps and microservices. Prior to Red Hat, Ashish was responsible for middleware sales for Oracle in UAE and covered GCC region for middleware sales at Software AG. With this, we would like to pass on the baton to Salim to start with the agenda of the day. Before Salim starts speaking, I would like to tell all of you that we have a quiz at the end. So please pay attention to the presentation because the quiz is pretty much out of the presentation and there is a surprise gift for the winner. Thank you so much, Salim. I would like you to take over now.
Thank you, Namita. So again, I want to thank you, Namita, for the introduction, and I want to thank all the team behind this from Redington to make this webinar happen. Actually, it was a very short notice period, but they have done fantastic work. Also, good morning and to all the attendees of today. As well as we want to thank our sponsor, Red Hat, and especially Mr. Ashish for going to explain more in details about the OpenShift portfolio. So I would like to start with the agenda of today. So we've made the agenda very unique and tailored in a way that it will drive more technical and commercial perspective and explanation to our attendees. So the first subject will be a small explanation about Red Hat and Microsoft partnership, and then we go more precisely to talk about the two best products from both companies and actually the two most promising products from both companies, which is OpenShift and Microsoft Azure. Then I will hand over the session to my colleague, Mr. Ashish, So he will explain deeply about the cloud experience journey for the customer using those fantastic products, then the security surrounding the both platforms, and then also how to empower our developers to push the bar of the innovation and creation of new applications in a very agile and secure methods. Then at the end, I will speak again about the jointly engineered, operated, and supported uh, like package from Microsoft and Red Hat, and how that is going to help our customers in their journey and in their business. So before I start, I want to mention a statement was said by Satya Nadella in 2019 during the Red Hat Summit. Uh, Satya Nadella has said loudly about Microsoft's adoption of an open source strategy. And they found that this is the fundamental way to go. And this is what actually customers expect from Microsoft to do in the future. So Microsoft already, they have a heritage on the development because they started as a developer tool. Satya Nadella himself, he was a developer, he was an engineer at that time. And then, of course, he made a big shift on the vision of Microsoft. So Microsoft today is not like Microsoft 10 years ago. If we look to Microsoft as a company, we found that more than 95% of the Fortune 500 global companies are using Microsoft Azure. And already they have what we call today a cloud born native application. We can take an example of 3M, Toyota, Samsung, Ford, BMW, and EY, all like the most famous companies in the world. They already adopted the cloud native applications. Looking from the other side about Red Hat, we see that Red Hat, and especially OpenShift, it is in use for more than 2,800 customers globally. And even we can see some logos from our region here, from UAE, like the most successful story is for Emirates MBD, where they did a big shift on their applications and their environment using Red Hat OpenShift. So the relation between Microsoft and Red Hat, uh, it started actually like a couple of years ago, but we start seeing the fruits of that relationship in a different products, in a different levels, like Red Hat Linux, the cost saving and operational efficiency for customers, which they can get using the marketplace and get some subscriptions very easy of Red Hat Linux. SQL Server also, which is the industry leading most secure data platform on a leading OS on cloud platform. Red Hat Enterprise Linux for SAP solutions on Azure. This is also another solutions which is available between Microsoft and Red Hat. And the most important for us and the most important for our customers today is the Red Hat OpenShift container platform in Azure. So the Red Hat OpenShift containers can give a lot of benefits to our developers, to our IT operations, and also to our business owners. They will change dramatically the way how easy to build, deploy, and manage modern containers-based applications. They will make it 10 times faster, the digital transformation of going from a monolithic application to a microservices applications. They will help to give, I will say, less headache for our customers with their fully managed Red Hat OpenShift services. So if we talk now about OpenShift and Azure, so we started talking about Red Hat and Microsoft. Now we talk about the two products, which is OpenShift and Azure. Taking a customer journey, taking a customer needs in a considerations. starting from a containers, which is the DevOps today. They have multiple applications. It could be on cloud, it could be on-prem, it could be hybrid. There is like, I will say it is organized development, and they have some GitHubs which they are working on. They have some of the other tools which they use to organize their development journey. But again, if there is a tool today which can take care of compiling, configuring, deploying, and patching and verifying your development and give you the production in a very quick steps and in a few minutes, that will make more easier for our developers to focus on coding, to focus on developing new applications, to get a very fast, like the changes, applications, whatever they want to have in their productions, and get it live, launch it to the market before anyone else will do. So the DevOps today and the DevOps tomorrow with the OpenShift and Azure, we can see it will give like more than 1,000 times faster deployment, compiling, configuration, patching, and verifying of the applications. So from a code to a production, it will take few minutes. We're literally few minutes today with OpenShift and Azure. Earlier, it was taking months and weeks. Now, few minutes. I will take an example of an e-commerce application. We did it, we tested, and it took around 15 minutes to get from a code to a production deployment completely. If we look to a very large applications, earlier it was taking months and weeks. With OpenShift and Azure, it might take days and hours only. So we have seen that OpenShift and Azure has given an enterprise grade application, platform for our customers, global scale, security, which is very important now and nowadays, especially nowadays, about where we saw like a lot of cyber security attacks are happening everywhere in the world. So security is a very important topic, which will be covered in the future within a few minutes from now by my colleague, Mr. Ashish. Also, we have seen that going through this approach has pushed the bar of innovation and creativity for our developers and for our business owners and IT operations. It gives also a speed to value when we talk about developing a product which might take months versus developing a product which takes few hours only and go live in the production. We have seen a lot of startups today. They are doing a very fantastic work when they do applications. They get their product ready to go to the market in a very short period. Comparing that to an enterprise, which they built what we call an accumulated innovation, they are taking more time than a small startup today. And this is shifting the world. This is shifting actually the markets completely. Okay, if we talk now in the next slide about the OpenShift 4 and what are like the layers which is inside an OpenShift platform. If we look to regardless if it is a physical environment, virtual, private, or public infrastructure, Red Hat Enterprise Linux Core OS is actually built in on the OpenShift. Kubernetes also, which is help for a seamless deployment to any of the clouds. Automation, which is the most important component on the OpenShift, where it will automate the full stack installations from a container to host application services, and also to auto scale the cloud with click updates. You can have your cluster services ready, application services, and developer services ready with automated base of your CI/CD and pipeline. Azure Red Hat OpenShift. It is a combination between Red Hat product and Azure platform. And of course, it uses the same code base as Red Hat OpenShift container platform, but it is installed in an optimized way to give more performance, scalability, and security for the customers and companies. So, of course, Azure Red Hat OpenShift is hosted on the public cloud. We have already in Dubai and actually in UAE, we have the service available. So thanks to Microsoft and thanks to Red Hat for their efforts. So we have now this service available here in UAE, and you can. I mean, even I know that Microsoft and Red Hat they give even a trial period for customers who they want to explore more about the OpenShift and on Microsoft Azure. The version which is available today for the OCP is 4.6 that was released in October 2020, and it is available on Azure Red Hat on December 2020 while we are talking now. So we have seen in this slide that there is some versions between 4.3, 4.4, 4.5, and 4.6. So if we talk about now the running version on OpenShift 4.6, there is always enhancement from Red Hat and improvement on the platform. Like with 4.6 now, installing a cluster on the vSphere using installer provisioning. This is something released on 4.5, and even it is again on 4.6 available. So the Google Cloud Platform, this is another available service. The 3 nodes parameter deployment, migrating the Azure private DNS zones. Of course, using the OpenShift Do, which is a CLI. So with the commands, you can create your objects very quickly. OpenShift Container Platform 4.6 also introduced a support for installation of the Red Hat OpenStack platform. It also gives the health check and the monitoring resources. It gives a lot of benefits when it comes to using OpenShift Service Mesh to enhance the security and the network segmentations for microservices applications, and more and more. Those slides will be more explained by our colleague, Mr. Ashish. And now I want to show somehow the benefit of using an OpenShift platform for developers. Again, the benefits of using an OpenShift platform for IT operations, and also the benefits of using an OpenShift platform for the business owners and like the companies, the owners of the companies and the management. So if we look to the first picture on the top, we will see that from the booster, from getting the application boost to development, then local deployment, verification, and Git push and the pipeline. All this is automated by OpenShift platform. So for a developer to achieve his CI/CD objectives, always he needs a platform that enables him to automate that process. So driving a software through a path of building, testing, deploying, whether the transition is OpenShift pipelines or something else, it should be like combined with some integrations, with verifications and a process to follow. So OpenShift makes that easy to achieve, whatever level of automation the developers desires to do. So as an example, if we take Kubernetes. Kubernetes nowadays has become the standards control panel for containers and containerized applications, but Kubernetes was built in the beginning for the needs of the IT operations. So not exactly precisely for the developers. In order for code to be deployed, developers need to be able to leverage the benefits of Kubernetes without requiring them to develop a platform skill set. Taking time from deployment, as an example, cycles to learn, installations, and managing the tools is not helping get the business applications to the market very quickly. So OpenShift, with the use of the OpenShift can take care for the design of everything. So the developers can deploy applications on Kubernetes without even the need to learn Kubernetes. So this is the shift which OpenShift is bringing to the game for the developers. If we look for the OpenShift for operations, which is another very important topic now, and I hope we have many of IT operations attending today as well. So we have seen that the IT operations, they spend like sometimes months and weeks trying to optimize the virtualizations platform or trying to do like more resources management in terms of the CPU and the memory, try to get the application run very smoothly without any bottleneck, without any problems. That was like the normal way to do the IT operations. If we look to OpenShift with the benefits which is bringing on the table for the IT operation team, it has completely make everything ready on the top of the current environment, and also to support the let's say the cloud infrastructure providers. We're taking an example of our OpenShift on Azure today. So OpenShift will offer like same experience for either hybrid or multi-cloud environment or whatever the IT operations they are managing, but it will give more analytics and more easy of, I will say like deployment or managing the containers platform, or even like trying to get resources, automation of resources allocations within the platform itself. The most also important topic for the IT operations is the customer or the administrator-friendly Kubernetes-based container platform. This is something also taken care by OpenShift and by Red Hat. So they built administrator-friendly, I will say, management platform. So where it has a lot of dashboards, projects, it has like a very comprehensive methods of managing the infrastructure. The next one, or the next benefits for using OpenShift on Azure for leaders and business owners. The leaders and business owners always they are thinking about how they can get applications faster development of new features because of the need of the market now, not next month, but now there is a need for the market. So let's get that features quickly deployed to our environment or to our production. Also, to reduce the cost of using, I will say, like the development of the application or using the infrastructure cost. This is also something Arrow has taken care of it. And mostly is to get the developers free for more innovations within the company itself. So OpenShift for business leaders is really important using the agile methods which OpenShift has adopted. OpenShift has designed it to bring developers and operations together. This is another important thing. Sometimes we find like a silo. Developers, they are working separately than the IT operations, and then the request to get an environment ready for an applications or to get more resources for that applications, it might take months and years. So now OpenShift has combined both developers and IT operations together in one platform. Of course, the fully automated process and focus team. So the team will have more focus. Either a developer, they will have more focus to develop more codes and to get deployment faster than before. For IT operations, also they will have the focus to manage the infrastructure, to manage the resources, to manage the applications in total, delivering business results 100 times faster than before. And of course, like administrator friendly and agile business values. But all what we have said today about OpenShift and Azure, it was not easy to do, or let's say easy to I'm talking about from a vendor's perspective, from Red Hat perspective and Microsoft perspective. To come to this point, they spend a lot and a lot and a lot of time on R&Ds, research and development, and how to make the life easier for our developers, how to make the journey more successful journey for our business owners and companies owners, and how to make also the IT operations more, I will say, like people to enjoy as a work. So there was a lot of challenges, and all those challenges, thanks to Microsoft and Red Hat, especially OpenShift, they addressed all those challenges. So they have given to the companies a trusted enterprise Kubernetes platform, a cloud experience, which is the most unique cloud experience using both technologies together. And also they have pushed and they give some empowering to our developers to innovate and to have more room for developing new ideas and new applications. I hope whatever was covered in this first subject, it was like productive and good for our attendees. I try to answer more the things related to the OpenShift, why OpenShift and Azure, what is the benefits for OpenShift and Azure for our developers, for our IT operations, and for our business owners or applications owners. The next topic will be the cloud experience, also the security, which is another very important topic we included in our webinar today. And the last one, which is for the how to empower our developers to innovate more using the OpenShift and Azure. So the next part will be addressed by my colleague, Mr. Ashish. I hope you guys has learned something today together, and we look forward to get like more questions at the end of this webinar. So, Ashish, if you hear me.
Sure. Yeah, I can hear you, Salim. Thanks. Let me try to share my screen. All right. Let me know if you can see my screen now.
Yes, we can see it. Yeah.
We can
All
see
right.
it.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Salim, for the insightful, session. My name is Ashish Dikshit. As Ramita has already told you, I look after the business development for OpenShift for the Middle East and North Africa region for Red Hat. And over the course of next 20-25 minutes, I will try to give you an overview of why OpenShift is a differentiated offering in the market, and also talk about a bit about the advantage of the Azure Red Hat OpenShift and some of the features and overview of the product itself. Uh, as I travel in the region and I meet the IT and business leaders across the region, we see this as a common theme across our customers landscape. Most of our customers are looking at transforming the way that they are delivering their IT applications. So there's a big initiative around digital transformation, and moving to cloud and exploring cloud is a big part of this digital transformation journey as well. And at the same time, they're looking at new age technologies around DevOps, AI, machine learning, and adopting those to give maximum value to their internal users and also to their end customers. However, with these all new initiatives, and at the same time trying to manage the legacy traditional infrastructure they have, it becomes a challenge of delivering all this in the way the customers wants to deliver it to their end users, and that made that led to the need of a platform, a single platform, which can host all these different kind of applications, which provides an abstraction layer for customers to run these applications wherever they want. So if they want to run it on premise, if they want to run it on any public cloud, or having a multi-cloud experience or hybrid cloud experience, a single fabric that allows them to do that and deploy them wherever they want. A platform which provides them the enough security, management, and control as per the enterprise needs, provide all the platform services that are required to run those applications, and most importantly, reduce the time to market for all these initiatives. Because if you're looking at product modernization, if you're looking at cloud native applications and and applications for your end customers, there's a big need to provide these applications as quickly as possible to your end customers. That helps you differentiate from your competition as well. And that also led to us working with Microsoft to provide a cloud offering, a fully managed cloud offering for OpenShift on the Azure platform. Now it is available as any other cloud services that comes from the Azure cloud platform, which means that you can not only deploy your applications on OpenShift on Azure. It is a fully managed services. So at the background, Red Hat and Microsoft engineers are supporting our customers for this offering. You buy this service directly from Microsoft. So in terms of you can use your existing cloud credits from Azure to buy OpenShift as like any other services from Microsoft. And it provides you all kind of functionalities that comes from any cloud service. So you scale on demand, you pay as you go, you may start small and increase as your workload increases. So all the flexibility that comes from the cloud platform is available for Azure Red Hat OpenShift, and coming up with all kind of security, compliance, and enterprise grade operations, including SLA of 99.9%, 24/7 support, and all kind of regulatory compliances that are required for different industries, including for financial, it could be PCI DSS, or HIPAA for the healthcare industries, different kind of ISO compliances as well. So an enterprise offering provided by the two leading companies in the market, Microsoft and Red Hat, and providing you the complete management, control, and security on the platform as well. Some of the features of the OpenShift on Red Hat Azure is, as I mentioned, flexibility of deploying and starting from wherever the small way you want, and pay as you go and expand as you increase the usage of the container platform. Different kind of all the kind of cloud features in terms of scaling, fully managed. So in terms of the all the management layer of the master infra nodes for OpenShift are fully managed through Microsoft and Red Hat. So for the end customers, you have the service up and running from day one, and you can deploy. You can start deploying your workloads on top of OpenShift Azure from the day one, as you have the services up and ready as soon as you subscribe to the ARO. Unified support, the bringing the best of the cloud experience from Microsoft and OpenShift experience from Red Hat, providing working together. So it is not a disjointed offering, wherein the support teams are sitting distinctly and looking at providing you support for two different entities, cloud and the container platform. The Red Hat and Microsoft engineers are working together, sitting in one unit to provide you that support. So complete collaboration between the two entities to take you through this journey of the experience of OpenShift on the Azure platform. Completely, as I mentioned about the regulatory compliances, looking at all the security that is required for our enterprise customers, multiple zone infrastructure to provide you high availability and no single point of failure. So it is a complete offering that most of the enterprise customers need from offering like this. Now, the question arises: why is there a need for this platform? So, of course, we understand that containers provide abstraction. They let you deploy the applications wherever you want. But as a bank, as a telco, as a public sector organization, when I look at business leaders or the IT leaders, what are they trying to achieve? Uh, the first part is that you want to build certain kind of application, so you want to spend the time in understanding what the organization needs, how to build that application, what kind of applications you need, and the end result of that is that you want the application to be available to your internal users or your end customers. Now these are the two pillars where you are adding the value to your organization. Everything that happens in between is a repetitive operational work, and the customers and organizations are looking at a certain kind of platform which helps you automate or takes care of everything that happens in between. So the idea is to build these applications and deploy these applications quickly. One part is that where you want to reduce the time to market and make sure these applications are ready to be consumed by the end customers in the least possible time, because you want to be ahead of competition. You want to bring new features, bring new applications to your customers much before than anybody else is doing that, and at the same time taking care of whatever happens in between in terms of the CI/CD pipelines, the automation of delivery pipelines, taking away the complexity of managing different kind of infrastructure, uh, uh, configuration part of it, different kind of stacks. So the need arises that what is a platform that can help us in automating or taking care of whatever happens in between and make it completely seamless and easier for our teams to maintain. That led to the need for something like containers, uh, and it started with some different kind of container runtimes like Docker or Cryo to provide you this abstraction layer. So if you look at traditional kind of deployment lifecycle at the dev stage, you have to put all the dependencies that are required for your application, which could be the networking, storage, OS dependencies, binary configuration files, different runtimes, and then you have to replicate these dependencies at each stage of your application deployment. So when you're moving from dev to test, to staging, to production, pre-production, again, the same kind of effort that you have to make to replicate the environment. So one part is that there is a lot of effort required, and second part is trying to replicate exactly which is there in each environment. And what we have seen is that customers were taking 3 to 6 months only in setting up these environments and trying to replicate this environment. What containers do is they package the application with all these dependencies that we are talking about and make them completely portable. So the moment your application is really in the dev stage, you get a container image and then you port it seamlessly to different environments, which means your application deployment lifecycle reduces from months to hours, and in certain cases even to few minutes. So the whole concept of the ability to release your applications very quickly as compared to what you were doing earlier comes with the advent of containers. And not only on your deployment stage, because the containers package the application with all the dependencies, they also make the applications portable across different kind of environments like on-premise or hybrid cloud or multi-cloud strategy or any kind of public cloud platform where you want to take your applications. Today, when the customers are looking at public clouds like Azure, the first thing that they need to understand is whether my application is portable or not. To move to any public cloud platform. With OpenShift and containers, we try to take away that complexity. So effort of moving to public cloud is also around wrapping your application into containers, which gives you this flexibility of running your application on a public cloud platform like Azure, or run it in a hybrid mode as well. So a single fabric or a platform that allows you to deploy applications wherever you want. Now, when you have a large number of containers, then you also need something to manage those containers. And that led to the rise of an orchestration platform called Kubernetes. Now, Red Hat was the first commercial distribution of Kubernetes in the market when we started around Kubernetes 5 to 6 years back. As you might understand, Kubernetes is an open source community project, which means that anybody can start using the Kubernetes, download the Kubernetes from the community portal and start using it. However, if you look at the history of Red Hat is the second biggest contributor to Kubernetes. So we are actually making this product in the open source world. And Red Hat was the first commercial distribution of Kubernetes. So Red Hat, in terms of, just for the Kubernetes experience, has the maximum amount of experience and the capability of managing the Kubernetes environment for our customers. But even Kubernetes is not enough, because Kubernetes is an orchestration layer for your containers, but it is still not a platform which gives you everything that is required to run your applications and give you the peace of mind that there is a platform which takes care of everything that is required around your applications. Salim mentioned about things like developer services, because Kubernetes is more a platform for the operations. But how do we take out this complexity and make it easy for the developers to work on Kubernetes, and also take them away from the complexity of Kubernetes. So all the complexity, let a platform handle all the complexities, and developers only enjoy the beauty of the platform and deploying their applications on top of this platform. As we understand, as I said, Kubernetes is not really a platform, and that is also, if you look at the definition of what platform means, which allows the customers to develop, run, and manage applications without the complexity of building and maintaining the infrastructure, is what a platform as a service means. Now, let's spend a couple of minutes to understand what we mean by platform. So if you look at, the Red Hat OpenShift container platform, so of course, for the basis of any containers is the Linux, so all the containers are Linux processes. So you need to understand what kind of Linux distribution the container platform is running on. In case of Red Hat, the underlying operating system for OpenShift is Red Hat RHEL Core OS. Now, customers also understand that when it comes to the stability, security, and robustness of the Linux, Red Hat Enterprise Linux is the most commonly used and the most solid offering in the market for the Linux distribution. So there's a lot of comfort that the customers get by knowing that the OpenShift container platform runs on Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Then of course you have the Kubernetes there, and OpenShift is completely based on 100% based on the on the open source Kubernetes. But what Red Hat did is they made this layer on top of Kubernetes, or services on top of Kubernetes, which takes away all the complexities that are required to run your applications and providing you a complete enterprise-wide platform. So what are these services include? This includes automated operations, which means the ability to manage your applications without much complexities, the ability to install the OpenShift in a matter of minutes, with the operator concepts, not just managing your OpenShift container platform, but also the workloads that are running on top of the platform as well. So for example, if you take products like MongoDB or AppDynamics, or any of the IBM middleware, and hundreds of other products which have certified themselves on top of OpenShift container platform, the entire lifecycle management of these platform is taken care of by OpenShift. So you no longer worry about patching or upgrading your MongoDB. The underlying OpenShift container platform takes care of the complete lifecycle management of these workloads, providing you capabilities like monitoring. Because if you're running, container workloads, you need to monitor those as well. That doesn't come with Kubernetes. The logging and metrics, software-defined networking, storage, load balancing, the capability to give you virtualizations. With OpenShift virtualization, you also have the flexibility of running your non-container workloads on top of OpenShift as well. So taking away the complexity and the cost of any proprietary virtualization layer as well. All of this on the operational infrastructure provided by the same platform. When you talk about things like developer services, providing you a development platform, which is the code ready, which is a distributed, completely web-based development IDE running on the OpenShift container platform. So with the advent of pandemic, the need for having the developers being able to do their task while they're sitting at their home. So completely web-based, Eclipse-based platform for development for the containers running within the platform as well. Different kind of application services, different kind of runtimes, integration, business process management, support for different runtimes like Spring Boot, Node.js. Again, we are not with OpenShift. You're not only getting the certified images and access to these technologies. All of this is also supported by Red Hat. So, for example, if you have an issue with Spring Boot, Red Hat will take care of the complete support for your Spring Boot as well. Providing all the leading innovation in the market around service mesh or serverless, built-in CI/CD pipelines, which means certified image of Jenkins or Tecton as a part of the platform. Again, provided by Red Hat and supported by Red Hat. Complete logging and metrics capability. And on top of that, if you have multiple clusters of OpenShift, whether it is on cloud or a multi-cloud or a hybrid cloud environment, giving you the flexibility of managing and monitoring your OpenShift clusters across different environments. So providing your console a single pane of glass for monitoring and also deployment of OpenShift clusters to a single pane of glass across different environments. So if you look at it, the story of Kubernetes is a very small part of the entire platform that Red Hat offers. And this is something that differentiates Red Hat OpenShift from the other vendors in the market. Most of the vendors are providing you the Kubernetes, a commercial distribution of Kubernetes. And everything that you see on top of Kubernetes is something either you have to buy different services from these providers, or you have to buy different, or you have to look at different open source technologies and integrate it with the platform. While in case of OpenShift, this is all a part of the core offering. And when you subscribe for OpenShift through ARO, you get everything, all of this that you see in this slide as a part of the platform without worrying about cost or the integration of any of these features as a part of the platform. This, if on the left hand side, if you see, these are the different kind of services that comes with OpenShift. So as I mentioned, we use Prometheus and Grafana for the monitoring. We use the EFK stack for logging and metering. We use for any kind of routing or load balancing requirement. Jenkins or Tecton for the CI/CD pipelines. Everything coming with the platform in a pre-integrated manner, so you don't have to worry about enabling any of these or any effort that is required for enabling any of these kind of services for the platform. Which means if I want to enable monitoring for my container workloads, I go to OpenShift console and click on enable monitoring. You don't have to worry in the background that Prometheus and Grafana is providing you this monitoring capability. Everything is pre-integrated to provide you a complete seamless container experience. On top of that, as I mentioned, different kind of application services, as we call them. So if you have API management requirement, integration requirements, process management requirements, rules management, SSO, support for different kind of runtimes like Spring Boot, Node.js, or .NET Core, everything is provided by the platform itself. So as an end user, as a developer, I get a service catalog where I can choose, and I get the certified images of containers for all of these technologies with a health check, which lets you identify which version is the most stable and the best for you to use. And all of that is supported by Red Hat. So if you have issues with any of these technologies, you raise a ticket to Red Hat, and Red Hat will resolve the issue not only for the underlying platform, but any of these runtimes, databases, access management, integration, API management, all these platforms as well. So I think with this, probably we were able to answer the question that, why we feel that the OpenShift is the best platform to provide or solve the puzzle that the customer have for something to take care of everything that happens in between, my application development and making it available to my end users. Something that, completely automates the entire process, reduces the time to market, take away all the complexities, and provided all the services that are required to run this application. Salim mentioned about the security part, and I think it is extremely important for the customers who are specifically looking at, deploying container workloads on public cloud platform. So as Salim mentioned, the ARO is available in the region. So you have, multiple zones which are offering ARO in the region to provide high availability. And at the same time, you don't have any data sovereignty issue because it is completely, everything stays in the region itself. So there is no data that is going outside the region. And it supports different availability zones to provide high availability and no single point of failure for your container workloads. And again, you're looking at different kind of regulatory compliances in terms of, specific to the industry. So whether it is PSI, PCI DSS, HIPAA for healthcare. So Microsoft and Red Hat are working together to make sure that the platform takes care of all the compliance requirements that our customers have, irrespective of whatever industry that they're coming at. In terms of OpenShift itself, all kind of security features are built in as a part of the platform. So we provide not just one layer, but 10 layers of security on the container platform. And there is a document which is about 20 pages talk about these different layers of security. So starting from the image scanning, vulnerability scanning, complete role-based access control at each layer, all of this is inbuilt as a part of the application as well. And as I mentioned earlier, a lot of security and stability of the platform comes from the underlying Red Hat Enterprise Linux as well. Just to give an example, 3-4 days back, there was a vulnerability issue in Kubernetes, which affected all the Kubernetes distribution, or the vendors, or anybody who was using Kubernetes across the world. Now, Red Hat OpenShift already has a resolution for that, and as a part of the platform, it was not able to affect Red Hat OpenShift. So all the customers of OpenShift were not impacted at all by this vulnerability, because this resolution was already built in as a part of the application. And that is when I say that, because Red Hat is making the Kubernetes in the open source world, we have 6 years of experience in the Kubernetes that really differentiate us from what is there in the market today. And same is reflected in terms of the number of customers. So you see that the momentum around containers have been in the last 3 to 4 years, and Red Hat has been able to install or deploy or make difference to our customer application journeys for in more than 2,800 customers already. Now, if you look at this momentum which has come in 3 years, it is a significant movement towards this platform, and we have close to about 45% of the market share in the container space. In the region itself, we have close to about 150 customers in Middle East who have adopted the platform already, and that includes different banks. One of the example mentioned is Emirates NBD. Airlines, Emirates Airlines is a big customer for us. Abu Dhabi Islamic Bank, public sector entities. So we see that the usage of container platform is across different industries and for different kind of use cases. So looking at modernizing what you currently have, so a lot of customers are moving away from the traditional monolithic application and trying to modernize them into microservices. Emirates Airlines is an example for that, which was, if you look at Emirates.com, it was a monolithic application running on a traditional application server. They decided to break it down into microservices. And now when you visit Emirates.com, it is running on the OpenShift container platform. Emirates NBD, we started working with them 3 years back, where they have modernized entire omni-channel experience or the customer-facing applications. for their customers. So all the new initiatives that you look at in the market from MSMED, whether it is the Live Digital Bank, whether it is WhatsApp banking, all of that is running on the OpenShift container platform. And the bank already have more than 80 applications which are running on the OpenShift container platform. When you talk about the size and scalability of the platform, if you look at Amadeus, again, Amadeus is running it in a hybrid mode, both on-premise and public cloud. But Amadeus, as a global distribution system, is responsible for all the booking for all the airlines and hotels across the world. So you're talking about millions and millions of transactions per second, and all of these applications are running on the OpenShift container platform. So the capability of the platform to handle those kind of heavy workloads as well is inbuilt in the platform as well. The same is reflected in the analyst ratings as well. So if you look at this, the Forrester Wave, which came out in September 2020, it puts Red Hat, IBM, which is the OpenShift platform, into a clear leadership space as compared to any other vendor in the market. And same is reflected in our relationships as well. So currently, Microsoft only provides the OpenShift as a managed services platform on Azure. So while you can deploy any other platform on top of the Azure platform, however, only managed services on the Azure today is Red Hat OpenShift, and this is because Microsoft also understands the strength and capability of this platform and why our customers it is a differentiated offering which really adds value to our customers. Some of the some of the observations from this report is interesting because if you look at the first statement, which talks about the OpenShift allows the customers to run not only the modern cloud native applications but also the traditional workloads as well. And this is what we have seen with our customers as well, that they are trying to have a single fabric which runs everything. If you look at some of the vendors in the market, they are only suited for the new cloud native applications, which lists the complexity of different platforms managing different applications. With OpenShift, you have the capability of running different kind of application on top of the platform. We pioneered the operator model, as I spoke about, the ability to have the lifecycle management of different application and workflows that are running on the platform by the OpenShift itself, complete patching, upgrade, everything that is required for the lifecycle management. And that really helped our customers to take away all the complexity of managing and different kind of workflows on top of the platform. We pioneered this concept, and we have hundreds of vendors who have already signed as operator on the OpenShift container platform. Largest number of references in the region. And Red Hat provides the dream of building once and deploying it anywhere, a reality for our customers. So with OpenShift, you have complete freedom of deploying the application on bare metal, on virtual machines, different kind of virtual machines providers, on any kind of public cloud platform. So with Microsoft, of course, we have a managed services offering, but OpenShift is certified to run on any other leading public cloud platform in the market, as you might be aware of any of those platforms. This is my last slide, and so I mean, what is also important is to understand what kind of impact OpenShift was able to bring to our customers. So IDC went into 15 or 16 of our customers who have already deployed OpenShift for a certain period of time to look at what kind of impact OpenShift was able to bring to their business. So some of the figures are really impressive in terms of 531% ROI, which means that customers were able to derive much more benefits than what they invested into the OpenShift container platform. But some of the statistics are less tangible but have huge impact on our customers was around the fast development lifecycle, which means the customers were able to reduce 2/3 of the effort that they were doing in terms of the ability for them to release new applications from what they were doing earlier. So their time to market reduced drastically, and we have seen uh, very traditional organization like Deutsche Bank, where they were taking about 8 months to release an application, and now they do it in a matter of 4 hours, and that's a big shift in terms of how you do your business and how you deal with your customers and how you make your customers able to access the features and applications that you want to bring to them. Now, a big impact of this time to market is also your capability to release your new application. So when you are spending less time in the repetitive work and you have more time as a development and operations team, it also gives you the flexibility of building new applications which you always wanted to do, but you didn't have time or resources to do that. So the customers are able to release new applications and new features much more than what they were doing earlier. So while you're doing what you were supposed to do much quickly, but that also gives you time to build new and bring in the innovation to your customers as well. 8 months payback period, and a huge benefit in terms of the payback that you get on in the productivity of your development and operations team as well. So this is pretty much I wanted to cover. If you have any questions towards the end, I would be happy to answer. You can put it on chat. I hope this was useful, and I hand it over to Salim now for the remaining part of the quiz and final session.
Thank you, Ashish. Thank you so much. It was a fantastic explanation about the OpenShift on Azure and how that is going to secure and help our customers to do more innovations and applications and go to market maybe 100 times faster than the normal way how they are doing it today. The last,
Absolutely.
yeah, the last subject here for um, our today's session is about the support. A lot of people they are asking the questions how the support is happening between the two vendors. We have Red Hat from one side and we have Microsoft from the other side. So basically, both companies have invested a lot in this, and they put together one combined team with a lot of integrations between the portals between the two team of between Red Hat and Microsoft. So whatever you can see here on the screen with the red color, that is Red Hat, and what you see on the blue color, that is Microsoft. And we see how really it is consolidated efforts between both of the companies to give the best support and customer journey when it comes to using the platform. So they have 24/7 support, they have standard support, they have an integrated portals between both vendors, they have an integrated team, they can give the full-fledged managed platform from end to end. Again, if we looked at it from the platform, so here you can see Microsoft and Red Hat on the left side, blue and red color box. So they give the choice to the customers either to use only the platform support, and the rest responsibilities will be managed by the customer, like the user management, project management, application lifecycle, cluster management, monitoring, networking, and so and so. So the vendors are very keen to support the customers and to give the freedom to the customers to use the way they want to adopt the new technologies. Another one, which is the fully managed support between both of them, Microsoft and Red Hat, we call it a managed service, full managed service. So here we can see on the left side that the cluster creations, the monitoring, the networking, the platform support, everything is managed by Microsoft and Red Hat. This is, again, same like what Ashish said, this is a big shift in the digital transformation journey for the customers. And we have seen it really in the market here. We have seen the shift happening for a lot of customers when they adopted the technology, the OpenShift and Azure. Of course, Consol is always there to support the customers. We encourage all our customers to go through our community lab. So we have https labs.consol.de. We published a lot of articles about OpenShift, about Azure, about a lot of open source technologies as well. We encourage our customers and we encourage all the attendees of today to try Red Hat OpenShift container platform. So as I said again, there is a free trial period from Red Hat through a normal subscription on the website. And then you can try the Red Hat OpenShift and feel really the change on the application's life cycle, on the security, on how easy to manage your full production environment or full production related applications. So thank you everyone for attending today's session. I will hand over now the mic to my colleague Namita. So she will take care now of the questions, answers, and also for explanation about the quiz.